Krampus is a creature with complicated origins who helped St. Nicholas on the night of December 5th, known as St. Nicholas Eve. While St. Nicholas leaves gifts and candy for good children at night, Krampus punishes bad children, traditionally with birch branches. The first Krampus figure obscura by Four Horsemen Studios was released way back in December 5th of 2021. We've covered several Four Horsemen Studios figures and are always quite blown away by the quality. So when we had the opportunity to get the red Krampus figure obscura, which was released in 2022, we didn't hesitate. So let's dig into this. All right, here we have the Krampus figure in its box. So on the front, you can obviously see the red Krampus head, the title Krampus, the Four Horsemen logo. Now, this does have a magnetic clasp closure, so it opens up. And I did open this up and look at it just briefly, and at no fault of Four Horsemen, because their figures use ball and joints for the heads. His head came off in the package, which when we open it up, I'll click that back on, should be no problem. But you can see the figure, some of the items he comes with. We'll get into more of that when we open up the figure. So on the side, you can see that tree that was visible on the back, a really nice snowy thing. And then on the other side, another tree with a candle lit. Now, the magnetic closure, which you saw the outside of, actually doubles as artwork. So you can place it with your figure, have a nice little scene going. Pretty neat. So we're going to go ahead and tear open this box. I'm going to stick his head back on his shoulders, and we'll take a look at the figure out of the box. And here we have him out of the box with all of his accessories. He does not come with a tape measure. So, this is really quite interesting. So, you have to plug his tail in. It comes detached. That was a little rough to get in there, and it actually comes with a little piece of paper. I've actually got it right here. Little instruction sheet for how to do it. It says, push the tail into the body. Do not twist the tail as you push it into the body. So, yeah, I'm sure they're worried about you breaking off the little, ball joint that it's on. Plugs in right there, you can see. That was pretty rough getting it in there. It was quite a push, but once it's in, I mean, it's in there. So that's not coming out for just by falling out on its own. But as you can see, this figure is just cool looking. I mean, all the paint details, the musculature of them, the detail on the head, the tongue, the horns. Man, it's cool. Like the hooves. Well, let's get right into it. So for articulation with the head, which I had to put back on, he can look down that far. He can look up that much, not very far. This hair piece, which is a solid piece of plastic rubber, it's pretty hard. I would say it's a softer plastic. Gets in the way of his head tilt up and down. But I mean, really, you don't need a whole lot more. Turn, I mean, you can full on do a 360. So you can turn that any which way. Yikes. Arms. He can T-pose and go about that far. You can reach up, you can go all the way around with those arms. Sure, my hand's getting in the way a little bit, but he does have single jointed elbows. So he can only bend that far. Now, this is a Christmas collectible, so I'm not expecting, the end all be all of toys here or collectibles. His wrist, he does have a wrist joint where he can bend in and out. His little gauntlets here get in the way of going down too far, going out too far. It can spin 360 degrees around. Hips. Let's see how far. He can kick straight out. He can kick you right in the chest. To the back. Let's see. Let's do the leg without the tail in the way. To the back, he can go that far. That's actually pretty good for a figure. Don't see that too often. He can do the splits. So the little waist guard area, that's a soft rubber plastic. So it can move right out of the way. So that's really nice. He has single jointed knees. So he can bend his knees that far. That's a funny pose. So ankles. He can tilt those ankles to do a toe tip. And it can go forward a decent amount. Not super far. I mean, the ankle does have this bit here. And then you have the shin guards there that kind of get in the way. But, I mean, you get a decent amount of range for that foot. We do have ankle pivot. So in and out. More out than in. But that's fine. He does have thigh twist and shin or knee twist as well. So, let's see here. Let's do the thigh. You can see right here. Get that up. This is where the thigh will twist. And then down here at the knee, right below the knee joint, is where the knee twist happens. Got to hold that in place so you can see. The tail can move around a bit. Not a whole lot. I'm sure after you move that enough, that tail could pop out of there. But you can position it in different ways. However you want to pose your figure. Let's get those arms down. Abs. He does have a slight ab crunch. Not very far back. But a little bit forward. And you can twist. So, like I said, this waist armor is a rubbery plastic. So it moves very nicely to get out of the way. All right. Sorry, sharp edges were catching my gloves. Let's get into the accessories. First off, you get his handcuffs. Krampus is known to lock up children and people that are bad with handcuffs. That is actually a metal chain in between. And some of the pictures I've seen posing him, they've actually had the handcuffs on him. As you can see here on the handcuffs, they do have a cut. I mean, we could try it. I don't know how safe it's going to be to just kind of put that around. Yeah, see, I'd be worried that you're going to break that. His wrists are on pegs because you do get another set of hands, a right and a left hand. So if I was going to put those on, I would take the hands off and put them on. You know what? Let's see. Let's see how hard these hands are in here. Oh! You can see it's just a little ball joint. Hand unplugs. We'll take that handcuff. We'll kind of put it around the wrist there. See if I can do this with the gloves on. This is going to be a trick. All right. It's got that peg in place there. Oh, nope, lost it. But what I can do here, actually. So I can actually take his armor because it does have kind of an edge. So I can put that around that armor a little bit. I know it's hard to see what I'm doing, but you'll see here in just a moment if I can get it. There's the cut. We'll do that. We'll stretch. Yeah, see, I can stretch it over that armor just a little bit there. That leaves the hand free from trying to hold that in place too. We'll get that hand back on there. There we go. Plug right in. And now he's got one of the handcuffs on. Oh, now that. Whoa! He's just getting covered in stuff here. Not yet. So now we have a handcuff attached to his arm there. We have his birch branch. That can plug right into his hand. Very simple. His fingers are rubbery plastic, so they can bend a little bit and give. And just that easy. That's in that hand. This hand's more of a creepy, like, clawing hand. He does have more of a closed fist, but same rule applies. His hand opens up a little bit and then can get around there. So, but I kind of like the clutching hand. He comes with jingle bells, and these actually jingle. They have little balls inside each bell and everything. From what I've seen, most people are putting this around his neck as a necklace type thing. So, you know when Krampus is coming. All right. Sorry. He comes with his basket that he would put children in. Has a little top that goes on there. Now, when you get this figure, and I was quite surprised, the rope's not attached, and the basket, the lid came off. I was like, uh-oh, I thought I broke it. No, it actually had 2 skulls and a set of hands, skeletal hands, inside the basket. One skull is a little bit smaller, no articulation to it whatsoever. It does have a ball joint in there, though. So if you had like the Headless Horseman figure or something else, you could probably stick that skull on it if you wanted to. This skull's slightly bigger. You can kind of see them next to each other. Let's close that jaw up. So side by side there, you can see this one's a little taller. A little bit bigger in size. And this one does have an articulated jaw. And it also looks like it'll accept a ball joint. So, if you had a figure you wanted to use that with, I'm sure you could. The hands are pegged. They're skeletal hands, and they're sort of clasped open, partially open here. You can kind of see how it's open. So if you had a skeletal figure, I mean, these, I don't know a whole lot about their figure line. I don't know everything about it. They may have some skeletal figures that they just took these from and added it to this. And that's what I'm seeing here. But you can drop all those little bits right in there. Close it up. You can either leave it sitting there as part of your diorama if you wanted to, or it comes with this rope. Now, the rope's not tied to it or anything like that, but what I did is I tied it off and made 2 loops. So something I've seen people doing with this. Actually, let's dump all that stuff out for the moment. Let's take his branch out. Oh, I guess we're going to take the handcuff off now. Let's see how this is going to work. Oh, wow, yeah. So I pulled it right off using the hole that they cut there, and no paint came off. I mean, it's got a really nice iron paint scheme to it on those handcuffs. That's really cool. That's neat. So, but it came off and no paint flaked, so that's nice to know. What I did is I put that on so I can take his arms, put them straight back like that. I'm hoping this works. Looks like I can bend the elbows in if need be. I could probably loosen up the knot a little bit if I need to. But, like a backpack. So now, put all those arms forward. Now it's got double points where it attaches. So, less chance of it falling off or whatever. But do it however you want. That's just one thing I did. Feel free to use my idea if you like. I don't mind one bit. Drop those skulls back in there. The hands in. So I will say this lid doesn't seem to want to stay on. It keeps trying to fall inside. I think, yeah, see? Might be easier to do without the gloves on, but yeah, I don't know. Even if you just did that. But there you have it. There's that figure in all of its glory. Let's see how tall he is. Really quick. Let's go into that next. So I'm going to put it right underneath that little hoof. Right at the top of there. So he stands right at about 7 inches tall. So not bad. Heavy duty plastic feel. So, I mean, he's a little heavy. He's not, anything out I don't know, he wouldn't be any heavier than most action figures. I mean, Marvel Legends, stuff like that, sure, he's going to be heavier than that. But if you have a lot of NECA figures, which I compare these to quite a bit because of the detail and everything, it's going to be roughly about the same weight as your standard NECA kit or NECA figure. Jeez. Just the detail they did on this guy. The blacks, the metals. I mean, they even did edge highlighting. That's crazy. Rings on the, I mean, it's not fur, but on the loincloth, we'll call it. They did a really good job on this figure. It's awesome. I'm glad we picked this one up. We didn't want to miss out on it again and have it be another couple years. Let's set him down there. So, for articulation, I wish the head moved a little bit more, but I'm not going to be overcritical. I'll give him 4. I'll give him 4. That's right. He's right on par with their was it Acragor, the dragon figure, which actually I have right here. You can actually use that as comparison too. So if you have the Mythic Legions line, you can see he's quite a bit smaller. But, I mean, he weighs quite a bit more as well, but still an awesome figure. I love this thing. We gave him a 4 on the articulation. I will say he's on par for a 4 as well. Really cool. The skull having a jointed jaw to it. That, I've got to give it for that. Overall, out of 10, let's see here, we gave Agragor 8.5. I'm going to give him an 8. I don't think he's quite up there with this guy. He's cool, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to give Krampus a solid 8. They do such a good job on their figures. I'm so impressed with Four Horsemen Studios and their figure lines. I mean, everything they've done has been really, really good quality. Let's see if I can get... I have it on this little sheet here that's this fabric, so it's not conducive to standing figures too well. Oh my gosh, I got it. But as you can see, if I do this gently, you can pose them with your backdrop. So I would highly recommend this. It is an expensive figure. We purchased this. It was roughly $70 US. So it's it's got a little bit of a price tag to it. But I mean, if you're in the market for something like that and you have your Christmas set up, you can always stick your own little Krampus touch in there if you want to have a little bit of a mischievous side, let's say. I'm definitely going to. Well, thank you for watching. Let us know if there's any figures you'd really like us to do a review on. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, here's another DragonDen video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.